Good evening, guys, and happy Tuesday to all of your sunshiny faces. Well, guys, it is freezing cold out. It is freezing cold out right now, and it is just like in the house. It's freezing cold out today. We did not, we haven't turned the heat on yet, but I think it's supposed to get down to like 30 something degrees tonight, which is like freezing cold. I think it was like 55 as a high today. Honestly, we are like in officially like fall weather. So yeah, it's like I said, ridiculously cold outside. It is cold in the house. I think it's like not freezing cold. I think it's still like 65, maybe 70 degrees or something like that. So it's not freezing cold in the house, but it is definitely noticeably cold in the house, like right now. And that's just in my room. It might be a little bit different in like the rest of the house. I just checked like the temperature in here, but I didn't check the temperature like the rest of the house, like the hallway thermostat. I was gonna say thermometer. But yeah, I didn't check that. I just checked the temperature in here and it said it was 65, but it will probably get pretty cold because it's supposed to get really cold like overnight tonight. And I think today is supposed to be the coldest day of the week. Now, the thing is, we've played in football weather that has been about this cold. I think the coldest game we played in was like a 48 or maybe 45 degree temperature. And it was one game Jack's freshman year. And it was like the coldest game that I think we've ever been at. But Jack wasn't actually, it got that cold during the varsity game. So Jack played like the freshman or frost-off team or whatever. And they played before that. But we were staying because it was Jack's freshman year. So my dad was coaching. So again, I think he was like coaching at varsity or whatever that year. And he was coaching though for the varsity game, and we stayed for the varsity game, and that was when it got to be like 40 something degrees. So all of us are just bundled up. We had probably like 8 blankets that we brought with us. All 4 of us were there, my mom, me, Matthew, and Jack. And Jack had stayed after, you know, the football game and stayed for the varsity game, or you know, or after the frost-off game, like after he'd played, and then stayed for the varsity game. And yeah, it was just, we were all freezing cold. Like I said, I had layers and layers and layers on, and gloves and hats, and I think there's a picture of us. I don't remember the exact temperature, but like I said, I think that I had posted it whenever I'd posted like, oh, you know, enjoying the varsity game with like, it was 43 degrees out or whatever it was. But it was the coldest game I think we've ever played in. And again too, today is like gonna be, you know, overnight it's gonna be 30, you know, 6 or something like that, whatever. And it was like 55 as a high. So it was cold, and I'm sure the practice today was cold. Well, Friday for the homecoming game, you know, it's the second to last game of the regular season, it's gonna be 70 degrees. So while we finally get like cold fall weather, you know, like this is definitely fall weather. You know, it's not snowing, but it's cold. It's really, really cold. This is like, you know, like it's weird. Why is it like, especially lately, we will have like, you know, like October, it'll be really, really warm. And then all of a sudden, like Halloween, it snows. We've had 2 Halloweens now. I think last year and 2 years ago it snowed. I think the year before that it like rained. We've had really bad weather for Halloween, but it's always like where it's really pretty warm, or at least decently warm. Like, you know, like still in like the 60s, 70s, whatever. And then, you know, it might get cold like later. It's always like the week of Halloween, or like on Halloween, or like the day before or after or whatever, and it's like snowing and it's freezing cold like those few days around Halloween. And then like November will still like be somewhat decent, like it won't be freezing cold. We might not even get any snow at all in November, and sometimes we don't even get snow in December, but it snows like on Halloween. Like this has happened, like I said, 2 years. I think it was last year, like I said, and I think it was 2 years before that or something. But yeah, that's like, it's crazy, guys, that like that has been our Halloweens the last few years. But then too, like again, it's, you know, this weekend's football game is going to be 70 degrees, so it's not even going to be like as cold as it is today, which I totally appreciate. If we're gonna get cold, wintry type, you know, fall weather, really cold fall weather, I'd rather be on a day when we don't have football, we don't have to have a football game, because the thing is that ever since I've been doing the camera for the end zone, I can't wear gloves to the game, because if I do, I end up pressing all of the buttons. And so I remember there was like a couple games last year where this year so far I haven't needed to wear gloves, and even on Friday I might not need to. Again, it'll be 70 or 75 I think is a high or whatever on Friday, but it's gonna get cooler by the evening, so again too, we might be looking at about the same as last week, maybe a little bit colder than last week. But like last week I wore like leggings, like 3/4 leggings, so like I had exposed skin on my legs, and it wasn't even cold last week, and I had a sweatshirt on. Like that was the extent of how cold it was last week. And you know, I think honestly the coldest game we've had so far this season has been that second game where it was like really cold. It was colder, but it was windy. The wind was kind of bad, so that's what made it feel worse. Like, yeah, this last week wasn't even that bad, and then there was the other week, like 2 weeks ago or whatever, I think, where it was kind of chilly as well. But we haven't had any games, like I said, where it's been like freezing cold, have to really bundle up kind of. And even this Friday it looks like it won't. So possibly the last game of the season, like the game not this weekend but the weekend after that, the last game of the regular season might be cold enough where we need to, but I still don't even think it's gonna be that bad. So I think, like I said, it was kind of like gonna dip. Today is gonna be like the coldest day, and then it's gonna get a little bit warmer again, and then by the weekend be like again in the 70s. So we don't even really have to worry about it being that freezing cold. But I am really cold right now, and the house is kind of cold. But again too, does it make it worth it to turn the heat on for really like 1, maybe 2 days, where like, I mean, honestly, if I'm bundled up in my blankets overnight while I'm sleeping, it's not gonna be that bad. I'm more concerned about like taking a shower in the cold. That's the only thing, like, you know, like coming out of the shower and then being cold. It's just I'm gonna have to just get dressed quick and then just get into bed and snuggle up under the blankets. But again too, 65 is not that cold. Like, it's not freezing cold, it's just colder than what we've been used to lately. So yeah, I'm, you know, like it just also too, like I told my dad, I was like, it's not worth it to turn on the heat for the first time and all of the dust, you know, that is gonna come blowing out the vents too, and like from the heat and everything. Like, I mean, because we had air conditioning going, but the hot heat coming out of the vent and like the dust smell and everything like that is gonna mess with my allergies. And I was like, I don't know if it's worth it for like 1 or 2 days like to turn it on. And like my parents' room's actually warm upstairs because they're on the 2nd floor, so like they actually still had a fan going upstairs. I was like, why do you guys have a fan going upstairs? I might not turn my fan on tonight just because it's gonna be like kind of chilly, but I really don't, it's like I said, it's not that bad, and we don't really need to turn the heat on or anything. It's just, you know, bundle up under a couple blankets while you go to sleep and it'll be fine during the day. Like today I was in leggings too, like it wasn't even that freezing cold, but you know, like I've been chilly. Like I've noticed I keep forgetting to put socks on when I go like around in the house, and I'm like, my feet are really cold right now, I need to remember to wear socks. So anyways though, I'm going to take a shower, get to bed. I will see you guys in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, and I'll see y'all very soon. Shiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.